Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So today we are going to start off from where we stopped. Last time we talked about noun phrase, how to identify noun phrases. So this time around, we are going to talk about functions of noun phrase. Now, we are going to start with sharing my slides for better understanding. Let me share my screen so we can start up right away. Okay, so like I said, we are going to be talking about functions of noun phrases. We have talked about meaning of a noun phrase, how to identify noun phrases when you see them. My name is Ikmat. I'm an English teacher. I'm a professional in my field, and I bet you by the time we are done with this class, you would not have any issues identifying functions of noun phrases. So we are going to start with meaning of a noun phrase. We've talked about that before. Please go back to watch my previous video so that you can understand all the things we need to talk about today. So noun phrases obviously is a type of phrase that has a noun and its head. We had talked about this before, and we talked about how to identify noun phrases. The terminal plus a noun will give you a noun phrase. The terminal plus an adjective plus a noun will give you a noun phrase. The terminal plus an adverb plus an adjective plus a noun would also give you a noun phrase. So now we'll move to functions of noun phrase. Number one is a noun phrase can function as the subject of the sentence. From the expression you would see on your screen, we have the house is very beautiful from afar. The noun phrase in this expression is the house, and it functions as the subject of the sentence. You can see that it is beginning the sentence. So most times when you have the noun phrase appearing first in an expression, most times they perform the function of the sentence. So obviously what we are talking about in this expression is the house, which is like the subject, our main cause of expression. Now let's move to the second function, which is the direct object of the verb. When we say the direct object of the verb, you need to understand what a verb is. A verb, the verb we are talking about in this essence is the action verb. Verbs can be divided into three. We have the auxiliary, we have the modal verb, and we have the action verb. So our focus for this is the action verb. We could also have verb phrase, but we are going there maybe later in our discussion. So in this expression, you could have a noun phrase functioning as the direct object of the verb. This is when you have the noun phrase coming directly after an action verb. So from the expression you would see here, you would see the old woman killed the black cat. The noun phrase in this expression is the black cat, and it's functioning as the direct object of the verb killed. So when your noun phrase appears immediately after the verb, it functions as the direct object of the verb. You would see killed here and then the black cat here. So it is coming directly after the verb killed, which makes it the direct object of the verb. Now let's move on to the next function, which is object of the preposition. For you to understand this, you need to know what a preposition is. Most times prepositions, they show you location, direction, and so on. Other examples, in, on, at, under, behind, on top. Those are examples of preposition. So when you have your noun phrase coming immediately after a preposition, it functions as a direct object of a preposition. Now, looking at this expression here, we have the teacher punished the students in the dirty garden. The noun phrase in this expression that we're concerned about is the dirty garden. And we say it performs the function of the object of the preposition. Why? Because it comes after the preposition in. I want to believe you understand what I'm saying. So when the noun phrase comes directly after any preposition, any kind of preposition at all, it functions as the object of the preposition. Now let's move on to the first one. We have indirect object of the verb. So you could have your noun phrase performing the function of an indirect object of the verb when the noun phrase comes after a ditransitive verb. Another question, what do we call a ditransitive verb? Ditransitive verbs are verbs that can accommodate two noun phrases at the same time with nothing setting them apart. An example of a ditransitive verb is gave. You could research more, we have more of them, but the example we have on the screen here is the word gave. And when you look at the example on your screen, you'll find out that gave is able to accommodate two noun phrases without anything separating them. So here we have my uncle gave the woman the ugly bag. We have the woman, we have the ugly bag coming after the ditransitive verb gave, and you would notice that there is nothing setting them apart. So when you have any verb that can appear in this form with nothing setting the noun phrases apart, that verb would be a ditransitive verb. So in this situation, either of the verb of the noun phrases can perform the function of an indirect object of the verb. So a situation where you have a ditransitive verb followed by a noun phrase, obviously it has to be followed by two noun phrases. So either of those two noun phrases, when they are underlined, it can function as the indirect object of the verb. So before we move to the classwork, I would like to reiterate what I talked about. We have talked about four functions of noun phrases. We have noun phrases functioning as the subject of the sentence. Obviously, you can see on your screen what makes it the subject. When they begin the sentence and when they are the focus for attention, it performs the function of the subject of the sentence. So direct object of the verb is when the noun phrase comes directly after an action verb or a verb phrase. The number three, object of the preposition, when the noun phrase comes directly after a preposition. And I told you that we have different prepositions that can fit in, on, at, under, above, behind, and so on. Then finally, we have the indirect object of the verb. This is where we talked about the ditransitive verb. You can research more. We have so many ditransitive verbs. We have punish, we have present, so many like that can come before two verb phrases. So now the class activity is for you to write out two sentences each with noun phrases performing the function of the subject, of the direct object of the verb, object of the preposition, and the indirect object of the verb. If you have any question, you can you can send your comment and then I will provide answers to your question. My name is Ikmat and I am your English teacher. We'll see you next time. Have a lovely day, everyone. Bye. Okay, so we'll be done sharing the screen now.